Ethan's beloved was in a severe car accident in a remote area. I recommended immediate local treatment. But the girl, Luna, ultimately died from excessive blood loss. Afterward, Ethan didn't blame me, throwing himself completely into his work. 3 years later, when I suffered postpartum hemorrhage during childbirth, he blocked emergency treatment, causing me and my unborn child to perish. Vivian, this is your karma. How does it feel to bleed to death? For that girl's sake. His hatred ran this deep. Reborn into the past. When news of Luna's accident reached the foster group, I chose to stay passive, silently watching Ethan mobilize private jets, force 5,000 employees to donate blood, deploy hundreds of luxury vehicles as escort, and launch this deeply moving extreme rescue operation. Luna must return to the capital for surgery. The foster family has endless wealth. Even the Grim Reaper will step aside. Useless idiots, figure it out now. If anything happens to Luna, you're all fired. As Luna's accident report arrived, Ethan paced frantically in the boardroom, unleashing his fury. Colleagues exchanged uneasy glances before turning to me, Manager Vivian, as head of Foster Group's crisis PR department. Protocol demanded my input. Regarding life and death matters, only the victim's closest kin should advise. I fully respect Ethan's decisions and will comply unconditionally. Ethan stared at me in shock, momentarily speechless. This is absurd. Scarlett erupted, slamming the table. Vivian! Such irresponsible remarks. A 3,000-kilometer rescue would drain massive resources during our IPO crunch. Can you bear the consequences if we derail the listing? I smiled faintly. Scarlett, that's misdirected blame. The decision rests solely with Ethan. Retreating into the crowd, I watched opposition fuel Ethan's defiance. Proceed immediately. I'll shoulder all responsibility, he declared. Ultimately, he overruled all objections, unleashing the conglomerate's full resources, connections, and wealth, sparing no expense for Luna's safety. Watching Ethan's triumphant departure, I lowered my head to hide cynical amusement. In our past life, after consulting experts about Luna's injuries, I'd objectively presented Ethan with treatment options. He demanded through gritted teeth, Vivian, what would you choose? During the IPO review period, transporting Luna risked catastrophic delays. My calm analysis favoring local treatment left Ethan speechless. After half a minute's intense scrutiny, he conceded, fine. I'll trust you this once. Honoring that trust, I dispatched 2 medical teams overnight. Yet despite all preparations, Luna's Rh-negative blood type caused fatal complications when local blood banks ran dry. Consumed by guilt, I tried resigning, only for Ethan to seize my throat, running away. Never! His sudden kiss contradicted the violence. Stay. Vivian. Don't leave me alone. Post Luna's death, Ethan transformed into a work-obsessed machine. When Foster Group went public a year later, he proposed immediately. Only during my fatal childbirth did I discover our marriage was vengeance incarnate. As I faded, his tearful pleas to stay strong morphed into vindictive whispers. Now you understand Luna's despair on that operating table. For her, I'd have bankrupted us gladly. Using the IPO to restrain me? I'd have chosen poverty for her. The depth of his festering hatred finally crystallized. Now, watching Ethan's frantic commands materialize within minutes, the Foster family's medical jet carrying 20 specialists already airborne, hundreds of borrowed luxury cars forming emergency corridors, I recognized the tragic farce unfolding. When Madison summoned me to the executive suite, news about Luna's Rh-negative blood requiring 10,000 milliliters of donations had just surfaced. The matriarch's accusation cut like ice. You've betrayed your professional duty and our family's interests. The Foster family patriarch Ethan Foster completely dominated the discussion. This authoritarian approach was typical of the Foster family tradition. Madison Foster had dragged me into this mess simply to protect her precious rebellious son from conflict. Mr. Foster's face turned ashen as he barked at me. Forget the private jet, get those cars back here immediately. This is utterly absurd. I glanced at Ethan. After being chastised by his parents, his expression turned stormy, though rebellious defiance still flickered in his eyes. Vivian, what's your take? He lifted his gaze, nervously twirling a pen between his fingers. Humph. Trying to shift blame again? I maintained my noncommittal posture, adopting a martyr's tone. Mr. Foster, rest assured I'll move heaven and earth to execute your orders. As head of PR, I'd say any platitude to avoid accountability. Never again would I repeat my past life naivety. Madison Foster hyperventilated until her assistant shoved heart medication into her mouth. I've raised such an ungrateful wretch. She spat, jabbing a finger at me. The irony! I'd abandoned my dream of becoming a renowned surgeon to help manage Foster Corporation out of gratitude. What had it earned me? When Ethan had ordered them to stop life-saving measures during my final moments, I desperately clutched at Madison's sleeve begging for intervention. She'd pried my fingers off one by one, simpering. Vivian dear, sort out your marital issues. Ethan would never harm you. I remembered too clearly how during Luna's first crisis in my previous life, I'd urgently reported to Madison, Mrs. Foster, you should come to the office. I'm worried about Mr. Foster, she'd smiled beatifically. Vivian, I trust you to keep Ethan in check. A ringing phone interrupted the memory. Ethan answered, then shot up from his seat. Enough. We need massive quantities of Rh-negative blood now. Mobilize everyone to the hospital, the phlebotomy team's waiting. I pressed my lips together. Mr. Foster, securing that volume of rare blood type. You never truly wanted to save Luna. Ethan exploded, pacing like a caged animal. If she, Mr. Foster. My sharp interruption froze him. I produced prepared documents to avoid impacting MS Young's treatment. I hereby resign. Turning to Madison, I handed her a ledger. This accounts for every cent you've spent on me since age 12, adjusted for inflation and multiplied fivefold with interest. Of course. The ledger that once symbolized my gratitude now severed their emotional blackmail. Never again would they chain me with manufactured debt. Ethan shoved past me in rage. Trying to provoke me? Watch me save Luna without you. Get out! I needed no second invitation. Back at headquarters, chaos reigned. HR had ordered universal blood testing, trapping employees on site until results cleared, including several pregnant women whispering escape plans in stairwells. They know I'm Rh negative. This is terrifying. I paused, then walked away. My tragic past life taught me, abandon savior complexes. Respect others' fates. Carry no one else's karma. Soaking in my bathtub that night, reality felt surreal. A nightmare startled me awake at dusk. Colleagues called reporting Luna's successful surgery while they worked overtime scrubbing social media. Vivian. Hundreds of luxury cars blocked the airport-hospital route. We're mass reporting videos speculating about VIP treatment, fingers cramping from clicking. No sleep tonight. No trending topics appeared online. With Ethan at Luna's bedside and Mr. Foster managing damage control, they'd clearly spent fortunes silencing coverage. Opening my desk drawer, I smiled coldly at Luna's investigative file. Last life. I'd suggested local hospital surgery to protect corporate interests. The second reason was my discovery that Luna wasn't the pure, hardworking persona she portrayed. Her trip to the uninhabited zone was actually to accompany a notorious photographer from the industry seeking thrills. This photographer, infamous for exploiting models and serving as a middleman in shady deals, had fled the scene after their car accident left Luna critically injured while he escaped with minor scratches. Faced with a choice between Ethan, the devoted young CEO, and this disreputable playboy, Luna unhesitatingly chose the latter. This proved her ruthless ambition. She'd stop at nothing for fame. In my previous life, I'd let it go after her death since Ethan eventually recovered from his grief. My greatest regret before dying was realizing I'd struggled out of poverty only to become collateral damage in their tawdry love story. A WeChat alert snapped me back. Ethan's message blared triumphantly, "Luna's awake. My surgeons call this a miracle. No ordinary person could have survived. This showcases foster group's unparalleled resources." His voice memo ended with arrogant laughter. I vividly imagined him growling some cringeworthy line like "I forbid you to die. Congratulations, Mr. Foster. Such devotion will surely move Mess Young deeply." I replied sweetly. Medical miracles shouldn't remain hidden. After all. 3 days later, Luna flooded social media with her survival saga. The posts featured dizzying visuals, elite surgeons disembarking private jets, luxury cars parting traffic like the Red Sea for her ambulance, 7,000 milliliters of blood donated overnight by thousands of foster employees. Her caption read, "Babe, you're insane, red heart." The attached medical report detailed catastrophic organ damage that should have killed anyone else. Doctors said I needed 7,000 milliliters of blood, 2 full body replacements. Luna tearfully claimed. Netizens promptly dubbed her blood cow sister and Ethan madman bro, catapulting them to trending fame. By the time Ethan mobilized his PR team, screenshots had gone nuclear. Madison arrived at my door with designer handbags, silver strands peeking through her dye job. "Vivian dear, you're still upset with Auntie?" Her strained smile faltered as I withdrew from her touch. "Let's skip the pleasantries. Mrs. Foster, you're here because the board's panicking about your son's innocence being exploited, right?" Her mascara ran as she switched tactics. "Help us clean this up. And you'll be family." When I refused, she demanded, "Then honor your resignation notice period. 1 month to contain this disaster." The foster group tower loomed ahead. Security guards stiffened as I approached. "Miss Smith," one stammered. "Mr. Foster left strict instructions." I smiled, adjusting my blazer. "Tell Ethan his mother personally requested my return. Let's see whose orders weigh heavier." She cited company policies, leaving me with no rebuttal. Not that I refused to return anyway. With the Foster family in crisis, fleeing as the PR head would destroy my professional reputation. Besides, I wanted front row seats to witness Ethan's downfall this time around. The office buzzed with discontent when I returned. The situation exceeded my worst expectations, a perfect storm of internal strife and external threats. Regulatory authorities had already summoned the Foster family, demanding immediate containment of the online firestorm. Former allies severed ties. The spoiled trust fund kid who lent his sports car for Ethan's rescue stunt faced family wrath after trending online, now threatening legal action. Internally, shareholders led by Scarlett revolted against the botched IPO prospects, demanding both Ethan's resignation and financial compensation from the Foster family. Yet Ethan chose this moment to disappear, playing devoted boyfriend at Luna's hospital bedside. Our financials resembled Swiss cheese. Ethan had drained resources, connections, and funds to save Luna, with shareholders refusing further investment. Madison's faith in my crisis management felt increasingly misplaced. Still, I'd work miracles with scraps if needed. Damage control through transparency. I advised the board. Hold a press conference detailing the rescue operation before conspiracy theories metastasize. Acknowledge the traffic disruptions and ER overcrowding, but frame it as human instinct prioritizing life. Ethan's sincere apology could still salvage our image. The board approved. At First Hospital, Luna's social media still flaunted trophy shots from the rescue, engagement metrics skyrocketing by the minute. Everyone knew she was Ethan's untouchable darling. The cleanup duty fell to me. Outside her room, Luna's hissed accusation froze me mid-knock. "Victor, you bastard. You nearly got me killed." A sleazy chuckle answered. Without my exit strategy, would Loverboy have staged that dramatic rescue? You owe me, sweetheart. Victor? That bottom-feeding photographer? I lingered by the doorway. Our partnership's over, Luna declared. Really? Victor purred. With the Foster ship sinking, my connections could make you international runway material overnight. Hesitation crept into Luna's voice. Ethan promised everything would blow over if I delete the posts. Big waves catch bigger fish, Victor countered. Delete the evidence and you're back to being nobody. He produced an embossed invitation. Front row at Milan Fashion Week. Your choice: Ethan's fading empire or global stardom. I left without entering. Let's see if Ethan's love could outweigh Luna's ambition. My phone erupted with urgency as I exited. Manager. The second marketing team, that pregnant employee who donated too much blood miscarried. Her in-laws are storming headquarters with protest banners. Ethan chose that moment to appear. Take-out bags in hand. Heard you're back. Consider this your redemption chance. He drawled with infuriating condescension. How pathetic he seemed now, this foolish man who'd never grasped the depths of his ruin, or recognized that his current suffering paled compared to what awaited him. Vivian! He grabbed my arm. Irritation flashing. Father said you needed me? I stared at his hand until he released me. Our tragedy was just beginning. I shook off his hand and said coldly, Ethan, it seems your luck has truly run out. There's no need for me to seek you out anymore. Prepare to atone. Not even a deity could save the Foster family now. After getting in the car, I immediately called the female employee Scarlett. Manager Vivian. I never imagined things would turn out like this. She broke into sobs. Mr. Foster offered $100,000 per milliliter. I thought it'd be fine. Scarlett's tearful explanation trailed off. When I asked if she knew her mother-in-law had taken protesters to her company, she timidly claimed physical weakness prevented her from controlling the older woman, then hastily hung up. My expression darkened. This family had clearly decided to milk the Foster family dry. Upon reaching headquarters, I summoned Scarlett's mother-in-law to my office for negotiations. The shrewd woman immediately demanded $10 million without budging. 6 months along. My golden grandson. You heartless capitalists treat poor people's lives like trash. Scarlett's husband Victor filmed the entire scene. Sneering, pay up now or this video exposing your madman boss goes viral. With company coffers empty, the Clarks were literally roasting the Fosters alive. Mrs. Madison Foster might as well have knelt begging. Nothing worked. Ultimately, the Foster patriarch had to swallow his pride and liquidate his $20 million private jet at fire sale prices, barely scraping together $4 million. After paying the Clarks, only $30 million remained. Ethan returned to headquarters for a humiliating dressing down from his father. The familiar defiance had vanished from his bloodshot eyes. How laughable! The same man who'd raced against death in his luxury jet now stood plain less and broken. Enjoying this, Vivian? He rasped. Composure shattered. I shook my head. A plane's replaceable. Human lives aren't. His disheveled appearance intensified. Vivian. You, I raised an eyebrow. I thought, his lips sealed shut mid-sentence. Complex emotions swirling in his gaze. Finally feeling the panic? No. This was merely the beginning. A cold smile touched my lips as I turned away. My foul mood had nothing to do with Ethan. That 6-month-old fetus haunted me. Sitting on the corporate plaza steps mourning the lost life, I felt a tap on my shoulder. It was Jessica Zhao, the Rh-negative pregnant woman from the stairwell that day. You've been through hell with Scarlett's family. Manager Vivian. If I'd stopped Mr. Foster back then, maybe Scarlett. The words caught in my throat. Jessica sighed. How could this be your fault? Had you intervened, Luna would have died. Honestly? Desperation drives people. Scarlett called home before donating blood. Her mother-in-law encouraged her to give more for the money. See? I refused the payout and stayed healthy. Don't overthink it. Her words provided little comfort. That night, insomnia gripped me until alcohol forced oblivion. Next morning, office chatter revealed Scarlett's tragedy. Her in-laws took the $10 million and immediately filed for divorce. The freshly traumatized woman had been dumped back at her parents'. I stood frozen for long minutes. True to form, Luna kept all rescue-related posts active on social media, fueling the raging PR crisis. Ethan's confident assurances about her cooperation now rang hollow. The entire company secretly mocked his unrequited devotion to a social climber who sacrificed foster group for clout. As online demands to investigate the madman boss reached fever pitch, shareholders ordered me to prepare a last-ditch press conference. Compliance was mandatory. Yet no one anticipated Mrs. Madison Foster's live-streamed interview with major media the night before the event, where she pinned the entire rescue operation on me, tearfully portraying her son as an innocent victim. Vivian Smith was the girl I sponsored through college. She's always had a thing for Ethan. Someone from her impoverished background would sell their soul to marry into the Foster family. The host gave Madison Foster a puzzled look. If that's the case, why not just let Luna die in the wilderness? Why rescue her? Madison sneered. Ask anyone in the industry about Vivian's crisis management skills. Do you think she didn't anticipate this outcome? She manipulated Ethan deliberately. Knew Ethan loved Luna and egged him on to play the hero. That scheming bitch wanted to ruin him. His only mistakes were trusting Vivian too much and loving Luna too deeply. The host stared at her with palpable discomfort before forcing an awkward smile at the camera. The live stream exploded. Has crazy guy even hit puberty? Didn't medical experts debunk that diagnosis report ages ago? Without crazy guy's money, Luna would have croaked. Thank God Vivian didn't talk him out of saving her. Working at Foster Group must be hell, earning peanuts while capitalists make us shoulder murder charges. Oblivious to her backfiring theatrics, Madison kept slandering me to whitewash Ethan's reputation. That unprofessional snake nearly destroyed our company. We fired her. Consider this a warning to the entire industry. The chat unified in outrage. Corporate drones have breast tissue too. Boycott Foster Group. A blistering comment suddenly dominated the feed. Bullshit. Ethan forced all employees to take blood tests. Cornered every Rh-negative employee, hinted they'd get fired if they refused to donate. Since when did he need Vivian's persuasion? Joke's on you. As netizens clamored for more tea from this Foster Group insider, Madison became background noise. My pulse spiked. This had to be Scarlett. I'm that unlucky pregnant blood donor. Miscarried. Then got dumped. My baby didn't have to die. But guess I wasn't lucky like his girlfriend. No fancy doctors or blood reserves for me. Scarlett's rage intensified. Ethan treats staff like livestock. We take the fall. We bleed for them. Worst part? His girlfriend uses our suffering for PR. Their epic love makes me sick. Madison's carefully orchestrated redemption arc crumbled beneath Scarlett's testimony. By broadcast's end, Foster Group's reputation flatlined. I lingered on the balcony, stunned. Never expected Scarlett's vindictive outburst to help me. Sent a thank you text, no reply. When paparazzi ambushed Ethan escorting Luna from the hospital, his trademark arrogance cracked. Luna's my girlfriend. I've got the money and means to save her, why wouldn't I? That woman's miscarriage isn't my problem, I paid her off. Get lost. The viral video torpedoed Foster Group's IPO. Employees fled daily, HR screamed into void job postings. Ethan loathed humility but agreed to a press conference. Madison's preemptive strike backfired so spectacularly. He embraced full villain mode. Even Luna faced backlash. With blood on her hands, she panicked, deleted all rescue photos overnight. Her new video pleaded, I was unconscious through everything. My heart breaks for that woman's loss. I'll erect a memorial tablet for her child. Classic rich girl ignorance, plausible deniability while Ethan took the heat. Scarlett's courage unleashed a floodgate. Victims of Ethan's heroic stunt emerged. My dad died from cardiac arrest because foster group's limos blocked the ambulance. Since when is his girlfriend's life worth more? My toddler burned up at 39 degrees Celsius. 1000th in Q, oh wait. All ER docs were busy saving his precious Luna. I donate blood yearly. But mom got denied during surgery. Meanwhile, blood cow sister gets 10,000 milliliters of Rh-negative blood in hours. Rich people's blood equals life. Ours equals pocket change. The foster empire collapsed under collective fury. From my balcony, I watched their world burn. The traffic authorities penalized Ethan for obstruction of traffic and disturbing public order. He was not only fined substantial compensation to the victims but also detained for 15 days. Shareholders united to oust Ethan from power, while the Foster family exhausted their entire fortune before being disgracefully expelled. After the Foster conglomerate changed hands, it hastily rebranded itself and publicly announced Ethan's penalties to completely sever ties with the disgraced family, finally drawing closure to the scandal. Reportedly, Ethan defiantly proclaimed before incarceration, "Shouldn't I rescue my girlfriend facing mortal danger? You keyboard warriors should reflect on your own incompetence. I did nothing wrong, I was saving a life." His bravado crumbled by the 5th day in detention when he raged against Madison for canceling his press conference, costing him his last chance at redemption. For unknown reasons, he demanded to see me, prompting the gray-haired Madison to seek me out again. I went, curious what Ethan could possibly say at this juncture. "Vivian, you understand me, right?" he pleaded. The road blockage was emergency rescue. "Help me hire a lawyer, I can't stay here." I smiled faintly. "Ethan, why would I help you? You could have stopped me that day." He suddenly exploded. "Now I realize you were jealous. Had I known you'd ruin everything, I'd have killed you first." The slap echoed through the visitation room. My first true outburst since rebirth. "Without my family, your grandmother would have sold you to some widower for dowry. Everything you are came from us. How dare you refuse me?" My gaze turned arctic. "You remember my family's betrayal, yet remain blind to my mother dying untreated, my father working himself to death. How am I different from those you harmed? Why should I sympathize with your entitlement?" Ethan pointed accusingly. "You should have persuaded me harder. This is all because you wanted to destroy Luna and me. Your stupidity and delusions know no bounds." I said, shaking my head. "Don't gloat. Vivian. I'll make Luna happy. Your schemes will fail." His childish tantrum stirred complex emotions. How had I ever loved this pathetic man? In my past life, I helped him achieve success after Luna's death, abandoned my career to bear his children, only to discover his cowardice. He genuinely wanted to save Luna yet refused to risk transporting her properly. He desired all benefits without responsibility. Did he truly love Luna? Unlikely. Otherwise, he wouldn't have wavered during my past life analysis. My graduate mentor once warned, never advise ICU families. Success is their virtue. Failure your fault. If they choose inaction, they'll blame you eternally. Human nature spans utter kindness to absolute malice. My former self erred in confronting this truth with naive honesty. Cherish your prison reflections. Ethan. Luna awaits your release. I left coldly. Coincidentally, his discharge date aligns with Luna's debut at Crazy Horse Paris. My former assistant called Madison went berserk upon learning about Luna's burlesque ambitions. Threatening confrontation. Amusing, considering she only fears embarrassment. Currently holding gifts for my mentor who disapproved of me abandoning surgery. I encountered Ryan in the elevator, his star pupil and my senior by 2 years. Now that Foster's collapsed. Returning to medicine? He eyed my presence skeptically. 6 years in public relations counts as achievement. I deflected. No career changes planned. Our mentor berated us thoroughly. One's a stinking capitalist. The other a bureaucratic snake. Don't visit again. Ryan and I exchanged wry smiles. Beneath the scolding lay regret. He inherited corporate empires while I navigated PR wars. To our teacher, we'd indeed become what he despised. Before leaving, I bowed deeply. Professor, I've been reflecting on your teachings lately. Though my understanding came late. It's not too late. I believe I'll keep improving wherever I go. My mentor huffed irritably and shooed us out, refusing all gifts. At the elevator, he suddenly called out to Ryan. Boy, your company's huge, find Vivian something to do. Her mouth works better than her hands anyway. The gruff yet protective tone made my eyes sting. Ryan smiled but didn't respond. In the parking garage, he turned abruptly. Weren't you the top graduate in your class? I was. I met his gaze steadily. Impressive grades. But... He waved dismissively. You're better off marrying rich. The corporate world isn't for you. His sports car roared away, leaving me staring at the exhaust fumes. Ryan really knew how to cut deep. I hadn't expected to encounter him at my mentor's today. But since fate intervened, why not seize the chance? The Foster family's collapse from IPO hopefuls to bankrupt sell-offs remained my career's greatest failure. Though Madison failed to pin the blame on me, no company would touch the PR director who oversaw this disaster now. I was heading to the travel agency when Johnson Enterprises HR called. 6 department heads interviewed me simultaneously, Ryan among them. After routine questions, the HR manager leaned forward. Ms. Smith, when the Foster Group faced catastrophic PR crises, your team vanished. Care to explain? I smirked. We're being framed. If not for Madison's live stream confession, I could have hidden Mr. Crazy's identity much longer. Ryan cleared his throat disapprovingly. Meeting his gaze, I requested privacy. He reviewed my crisis management proposal, radical transparency as strategic response originally submitted to Foster's board. Why wasn't this implemented? Luna's exposé and Madison's broadcast derailed everything. Ryan moved closer. So the legendary PR queen lacks foresight? You didn't monitor the CEO's lover or his mother? My smile didn't reach my eyes. Would Ethan ever prioritize business over Luna? Would Madison listen to anyone protecting her son? Why should I martyr myself for their recklessness? You've changed, Ryan said quietly. The Vivian I knew would have tried regardless. My chest constricted. That Vivian had died with my unborn child in another lifetime. Sacrificed for Foster family loyalty. Women are conditioned to nurture, compromise, self-sacrifice. But survival favors the ruthless. I refuse to waste compassion on fools digging their own graves. Leaning across the table, I bared my teeth. Let's be clear. Ryan, I'm done playing the Foster's game. Got a problem with that? The glacial CEO did something unprecedented. A faint smile warmed his eyes. Then he applauded. My previous assessment was mistaken. You're exactly what this industry needs. Ethan was right. In my past life, I did quit my career and married some guy. Thank God I woke up this time and could start fresh. From now on, I'm writing my own leading lady story. The day Ryan officially joined the Johnson conglomerate happened to be Ethan's release from detention. To savor Ethan's green-faced reaction, I deliberately postponed my start date by a day. Unexpectedly, Ryan insisted on coming along for the spectacle. The detention center entrance swarmed with reporters and live streamers. You think he still doesn't know Vivian's stripping plans? Ryan mused, stroking his chin. I never told him. Madison probably couldn't bear to break the news either. Ryan gave me an impressed nod. Ruthless. I patted his shoulder. Senior, if he's the tyrant king, you're the enlightened ruler. Don't worry, we'll be the ultimate power duo. I'll work my ass off for you. Professor wasn't kidding about your silver tongue. Ryan snorted. I batted my lashes. You'd hate having some tongue-tied PR manager anyway. Ryan's composure cracked. Don't even. 6 years ago when I offered you the job, you chose that rinky-dink Foster startup instead. Took them 6 damn years to barely qualify for IPO. I clasped my hands in mock prayer. The crowd suddenly parted as someone shouted, Luna's here. My eyebrows shot up. Luna showing up for Ethan? Unthinkable. Women outshine men when it comes to cutthroat moves. Ryan observed. Legs casually crossed. Won't waste this publicity goldmine. The realization hit. No affection here, just leveraging Ethan's downfall. The once untouchable tycoon who commandeered private jets. Forced blood donations from thousands. Mobilized luxury car convoys for his darling. Who doubled down on his no-regrets declaration even while being arrested. The internet's favorite tragic romantic hero now stood bankrupt. Clinging to his noble sacrifice narrative. Luna remained his last shred of dignity. For 15 days. Trending topics screamed about Luna's crazy horse show debut, the public rabid for this romantic tragedy's final act. The more reckless his past behavior, the hotter the anticipation for their breakup showdown. Ethan tearfully embraced Luna. You shouldn't have come. Are they harassing you? We'll show them all our happiness. He spotted me in the crowd and raised his voice. Luna wrinkled her nose. Ugh. When's the last time you showered? Snickers erupted as cameras flashed. Ethan flushed crimson. You're disgusted by me? I ruined my life for you. Don't pin this on me. Luna recoiled. If I'd known you'd hurt people to save me, I'd have refused. I can't sleep knowing strangers' blood runs through me. A bystander heckled. Cut the act. You're doing nude shows and want sympathy? Ethan froze mid-outrage. What nude show? Luna shrugged. Your mom didn't tell you? Crazy horse gets me into elite fashion circles. Only idiots say no. Ryan and I got elbowed out by the media scrum. Back in the car. I clicked on a live stream. The digital mob feasted on the spectacle. The barrage of comments was filled with vicious insults. Ugh. A stripper. What a waste of everyone's blood donations saving you. Should have saved a dog instead. That foster family employee's child died for nothing. And that father with the heart attack probably died with regrets too. My fingers trembled. And the phone slipped through them. Ryan caught it, patting my shoulder as he saw my pale face. Don't blame yourself. The child's mother volunteered. That heart attack victim was beyond saving, even the doctors on scene said so. I knew. Otherwise, Ethan wouldn't have gotten just 15 days in detention. I forced a smile. I'm fine. I'll get through this. More comments flashed. Damn. I never thought I'd feel bad for crazy bro. The camera zoomed in on Ethan, the once charismatic young CEO now disheveled in wrinkled suits. Staggering with dead eyes radiating utter betrayal. He roared hoarsely. Don't you dare go. You hear me? Don't embarrass me. His voice cracked with fury, desperation, and pathetic pleading. A comment popped up, first time seeing so many emotions on one face. Guess real pain brings out Oscar-worthy performances. Luna finally caved under public shaming. She shoved wads of cash into Ethan's hands. I appreciate what you did. Consider this compensation. I won't press charges against your mom for scratching me. Ethan exploded, hurling the bills into the air. You think I need your charity? I spent over $1 billion saving you. The foster group collapse cost way more than that. The fluttering cash created crimson snowfall. Luna stomped her foot. You're delusional. You're not CEO anymore. She stormed off as people scrambled for money. Stop. That's ours. Madison's shrill voice cut through the chaos. The crowd parted for the gray-haired woman clawing at bills. We need this. We're bankrupt. Ethan numbly watched his mother. Luna. Luna. Stop obsessing over that slut. Madison screamed. Let her strip if she wants. She's been passed around the industry anyway. Ethan suddenly clutched his head, howling at the sky like a wounded animal. Ryan tapped the steering wheel. He's having a breakdown. Might develop psychosis. I said coldly. Cowards can't handle failure, especially not this humiliating kind. How does it feel, Ethan? Having your heart trampled into mud? You watched me bleed out in our past life. Indifferent in your glory. Now Luna's stabbing you in the back. Karma's a bitch. The screen was flooded with a continuous stream of approving comments. I stared blankly, my heart in turmoil. Ryan chuckled dryly, ruffling my hair. Feels like we just watched an epic movie. Nobody wants to leave during the credits. The heavy emotions weighing on me were dispelled by him. Yes, Ryan. I murmured. The play has ended. It's time to leave. The lights came on. Reality awaited beyond that door. Ryan started the car and drove away from the scene. 3 months later. News about the extreme rescue operation involving the former foster family conglomerate had virtually disappeared from the internet. No one discussed Crazy Guy or Blood Cow Sister anymore. On the day I passed my probationary period evaluation, news broke that Luna had failed to conquer the international fashion scene, been abandoned by investors, and faced blacklisting upon returning home. Former colleagues called to gossip. Manager Vivian. They exclaimed, "This is so satisfying." I heard Madison went to the hospital to share the good news with Ethan. Hospital? I frowned. It had been ages since I'd paid attention to that mother-son duo. The colleague sounded surprised. You didn't know? He went insane shortly after getting out. Started raving at the company about being a listed company CEO. Claiming you were his wife. When security restrained him, he wet himself crying and begged you to save him. Apologizing about the child. We all agreed he's completely lost it. I smiled faintly. Then he truly has gone mad. Sensing my genuine disinterest, the colleague soon ended the call. As an official member of the Johnson family enterprise, my future secured, Ryan treated me to dinner. After several drinks, my consciousness drifted into hazy intoxication, soul detaching as if crossing dimensional barriers. The fragmented scene materialized. Did you hear about Scarlett? So tragic, cheating husband. Abusive in-laws. She jumped during postpartum confinement. Made the news. That poor child. In the foster group break room, female employees angrily planned to throw rotten eggs at Scarlett's in-laws after work. Then I saw my past self emerge with dark circles. Holding coffee. The women scattered like startled birds. Ah. I remembered. 6 months after Luna's death in that previous life. During our IPO preparations while pulling all-nighters. Those employees hadn't realized I'd overheard their gossip. My past self rubbed tired eyes. Watching their panicked retreat while musing. Am I that terrifying? Were they bad-mouthing me? The vision rippled like disturbed water. I desperately tried to clear the mist. Vivian! Vivian! Urgent voices called. With a start, I awoke still seated at the restaurant table. Ryan was shaking my arm. Retreating into the crowd, I touched my face cold and damp. Meeting his concerned gaze, I bloomed into a radiant smile. Ryan, it was a wonderful dream. The very best. He shook his head indulgently. Let's go. I've paid. Following him with light steps, I reflected. This lifetime Scarlett lost her child and divorced. Such an ending. Perfect. Everything unfolds as it should. The ancients were wise. Relinquish savior complexes. Avoid interfering in others' karma lest you bear their misfortunes. Yet within reason, I'll never withhold compassion. For this world remains beautiful. Ryan. I caught up to him. May I recommend a colleague for recruitment? Without turning, he replied. No backdoor deals. Proper interviews only. Laughing, I answered. Understood. The night breeze carried whispers of closure as we stepped into the neon-lit streets. Two shadows moving toward tomorrow's promise.